Chapter 122, The Suspicion of the Junior Sister, Da Nia's Transformation, Lin Shihuang's Pain Part 2. As for feelings, he continued to maintain a clear distinction between superior and inferior, gently refusing with this excuse. However, it seemed like his junior sister didn't take the hint and still ran around wildly every day, coming and going from his cave mansion. The original words of his junior sister were, "As long as I can follow senior brother, I don't need to hope for anything else for now. Senior brother, I've learned all the spells you've taught me." One day, Ning Yujing approached Han Yi looking for new breakthroughs. In a very short time, she had progressed through 2 realms, and she was able to learn any spell with ease. This talent, Han Yi thought he'd seen it somewhere. Wasn't Chu Shanyu also the type of person who would never forget what she learned, a talent who would understand anything she studied? After the incident that had happened that night, Han Yi naturally taught her whatever he knew. In Pure Yang Peak, with the sect leaders not engaging in the affairs, the important teachings were not there in the main peak. Only a few direct disciples and experienced inner sect disciples could instruct the disciples within their peak. He had taught the Supreme Limitless Skill and Hanshin 5 Elements Gang to junior sister Ning first, and had also given her quite a few elixirs as compensation. Ning Yujing's cultivation progress was incredibly fast. As expected from a mutant spiritual root, her ice spirit root, she was able to progress through 2 realms in a single month. She had already reached the stage of key cultivation, and this was because she was already a key practitioner when she joined the sect. In Han Ye's impression, besides being attentive and considerate, Ning Yujing was now also lively and cheerful. A new set of characteristics to add to her previously staid persona. Faced with a junior sister who was so beautiful, had decent talent, and was in love with him, any man would find it hard to refuse. "We're already cultivators, can't we speed things up a bit?" Han Yi often said this to himself. However, he didn't want to see the disappointment and indifference in Chu Jianyu's eyes. He often wondered, what would happen if the 2 women met one another? Would they fight? "Senior brother, I'll go to the book collection pavilion to borrow some books to study more difficult spells. I'll return later," Ning Yujing said to Han Yi, smiling sweetly at him. "All right, go ahead." Without any misgivings, Han Yi nodded slightly. Ning Yujing quickly left on the back of an immortal crane. She passed through the layers of cloud mist and first went to the book collection pavilion to borrow several jade slips. Then, instead of return to the Pure Yang Peak, she went to a deserted peak. There, people had been waiting for quite some time. 2 men dressed like outer sect disciples stood calmly on a giant wooden stake. Upon seeing Ning Yujing, their faces showed respect. In voice transmissions, they greeted her. "Third Guardian, we greet you, Saintess." "Second Guardian, we greet you, Saintess." If Han Yi were here, he'd recognize these 2 men as the ones who possessing wind and thunder spirit roots, and showed extremely high talent during the selection of the disciples. Ning Yujing was unfazed, as if she was used to this title. She asked, "How did our investigations go this month? Have we found any news about the demon chart?" A thin man in a long robe first reported, "We've figured it out. The Ghoul sect and the Corpse Taoist were all annihilated back then in Hangzhou Prefecture at that time. The leader of the Pure Yang Peak was Zhang Taixu, the head elder. He went there to eliminate demons. Therefore, Holy Maiden, your line of investigation is correct." Another man, a burly giant, added in a deep voice, "We're not the only one suspecting that the demon chart is in the Dragon Sparrow sect. Other immortal sects have the same suspicion. Affairs from the immortal sect arrived here recently for investigations, but it is said that they've achieved nothing. So the immortal sects also have no clues." After hearing this, Ning Yujing's eyes flickered and she fell into a moment's reverie. "In Pure Yang Peak, I haven't seen any trace of the demon chart yet, but I have met a tough nut to crack. However, I've made some progress recently. There's a man that you, our Holy Maiden, cannot handle." The 2 guardians seemed incredibly surprised. Ning Yujing carelessly said, "He's different from others. Also, the sect's big competition is coming. You can improve your strength, but try not to reveal your true cultivation." "Got it. I suspect someone has absorbed the demon chart. Otherwise, there would be at least a clue. That would be bad." No worries, if we kill him, the demon chart will naturally change its host. Pure Yang Peak. Boom! The mountain wall was continuously struck, causing loud thumping sounds. Watching Wang Daniu, who was increasingly adept in his practice. With the earthy yellow glow of magic power flowing around him, Han Yi was surprised. In just 1 month, Daniu, you've reached the foundation establishment stage. I have to thank you, Brother Han, for the foundation establishment pill. Wang Daniu scratched his head embarrassedly and laughed awkwardly. Also, the turtle diagram you gave me, I've made some new discoveries. Thinking back on the changes in the past month, Daniu said earnestly. It's called Zuanming Giant Tortoise. Helplessly, Han Yi facepalmed. Isn't it more or less the same thing? Look, Wang Daniu couldn't wait to show off. He opened his collar to show his chest. A tiny image of a Zuanming giant tortoise was imprinted on his solid chest muscles, exquisitely designed and lifelike. Han Yi's eyes widened as he looked at the tattoo, quickly asking, "Do you feel any changes in your body?" Changes? After thinking for a moment, Wang Daniu grinned and said, "I feel like I've gotten stronger." How much stronger? Words alone were not enough. Wang Daniu gathered earth-yellow magic power around his fist and punched the 100-meter-high mountain wall in front of him. The golden light emanating from the tortoise image on his body shimmered. Boom! This bench, carrying terrifying power, smashed out. A deep fist mark appeared in the mountain wall. Just as Han Yi thought it was over, the rock above the fist mark began to crack. Crack!